Hi everyone, we're back at it again. Alright, today we are going to be building the 350 Premium full-scale engine. I recommend you guys pull the website open to really get a good look at this one before starting this video. We're going to walk through this step by step, but there are quite a few pieces and I want to make sure everyone sees exactly how this goes together. Alright, we're going to start out with the block. Now, block is going to have these casting marks on the bottom. These are on the bottom, not the top. I know at first it could look like they might go this way, but please be assured this is the correct orientation of the engine. So make sure those are facing downward. To start off, we're going to prop our engine either on its belly or on its side, and we're going to take our two heads and glue them into place. Now, you're going to notice there is a rougher side on the bottom and a smooth side on the top. We're going to be gluing the rougher side to the engine block. And when it's glued, it should look like this on the side. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Take your medium grade Hobby CA glue, your medium gap filling Hobby CA glue, and just glue a strip down the middle of the head. Spray some of your activator onto the engine block. Let's neaten that up for you guys. And go ahead and line that up, making sure the ports are towards the casting marks at the bottom of the engine. We're going to line it up evenly, best you can, and repeat the process on the next side. Again, strip down the middle of the bottom of the head, which has the rougher finish. I shouldn't say rough because it's not really rough. Quick spray to your engine. Exhaust ports facing down. Nice flat contact. And we are good to go on the next step. Now, we're going to drop our intake on. To do this, make sure the post is at the back of the engine and the thermostat will be dropping into the opening you see at the front there. So again, front of the engine, where the thermostat's going to drop in, where the distributor is going to glue on later. Go ahead and apply strip of glue down the middle of this. Quick spray to the top of the engine. And get that seated in the middle the best you can. Next, we're going to take our very detailed carburetor. I'm kidding, guys, this will get completely covered up later, so don't worry about that. And this is going to fit into the square pocket in the middle of your intake. So go ahead and get a feel for how it fits. Drop a couple drops of glue in the four corners of that pocket. Give it a spray, it does not matter which side is up, and press that into place like so. Now, before we move on to our intake, we're going to grab that thermostat housing. We're going to check its fit in that pocket in the front. So it's going to look something like that. And once we are confident in that, we're going to do the same process. We're going to put 1 drop of glue in the middle, spray your thermostat housing, and press that into place. One more step before we move on is we're going to take our distributor, and there's going to be a small hole on the back side that's going to fit on top of the post there. So go ahead and apply a little bit of glue on that underside. Give your post a spray and drop that into place like so. At this point, you should look like this. Now, before we move on to the air cleaner, we're going to actually put our valve covers on. So now, valve covers are going to sit on the heads like this. Make sure that one of the raised portions is towards the front, and one of them is towards the back of the engine. The driver's side should be to the back, passenger to the front, but it doesn't functionally matter. Go ahead and lay your strip of glue down one of them, spray the motor. Keep in mind these are angled, so pay attention to that when you're gluing them on. So they do have a slight angle upward. Repeat the process for the next one. Lining it up as square as we can on that head. And you should have a result that looks like that. Now we can move on to the next step, which is the air cleaner. The air cleaner is going to start with the thin disc. It's going to drop down over the carburetor. Your physical air cleaner itself is going to have a small square pocket on the bottom. And your top hat is just going to glue to the top of that. Now, to make this a little easier, what we'll do is we're going to remove that small disc from the engine, and we're going to glue it straight to the black air cleaner, lining up the square pockets. Now, it is important that you get these square pockets perfectly lined up. Otherwise, you're going to have trouble fitting this on in the next step. So glue one portion, put activator on the other. Give it a test fit. If you find that yours doesn't fit, feel free to take an X-Acto knife and just open up that hole a little bit. Mine fits on there pretty good, so I'm going to leave it. And now I'm going to apply a little glue to the top of the carburetor. Spray. And drop that into place, making sure I'm nice and square. Oop. I'm actually going to go ahead and add some more glue because that wasn't sticking quite nicely to the outer edge here. I might be slightly off center causing this. Give it a little more kicker. And we're going to try that one more time, making sure our air cleaner is nice and square with the front of the engine. Like so. Now we're going to put our top hat on. Just a little bit of glue. I'm not putting a very thick layer down. Drop that on. And key is to make sure we are centered so the lip is even all the way around. Now that we've done that, we're going to put our motor on its back. And this is where it's going to help to have the website open. I actually have it open myself just for reference, because there are quite a few pulleys in the next step. So I find sometimes it helps to just kind of lay them out, see what looks right according to the website photos. Make sure everything's going to fit the way you like. And just get an idea of how it's all going to go together before you start gluing. All right, let's get to it. So I'm going to start with the large pulley. For these, I'm going to actually glue the tops of the posts that are sticking up, giving a spray to the back. Repeat the process all the way around. Making sure I'm nice and centered on the posts for that extra scale look. Guys, if you don't like it, you do have a few seconds to do it again before the glue will cure. Like that last one, I didn't quite like where it was positioned, so I'm just going to fix it real quick. And finally, I'm going to glue my tensioner into position. about there. I'm actually going to put a little drop on the front. I know where I want it. And when all is said and done, alright guys, once you have those pulleys glued on, it should look something like this. Now the next step is going to be, we're going to take our exhaust manifolds and they are going to drop into the side holes on the side of those heads that we spoke about earlier. So feel free, give them a test fit, make sure they fit in there nicely. Just the edge of them needs to go in so they're secure. It's not a very deep fit, but it does allow you to position them either straight up and down. You can curl them inward a bit, whatever you see fit. Just be careful if you curl them in, because we will be placing the oil pan on later. So if you're going to curl them in as far as you can, I suggest gluing the oil pan on first. But like previously, we are going to, looks like my applicator tip is clogged up, so I'm simply going to snip the end off. We're going to add some glue to each one of these pockets. Give our exhaust a spray. And get that fitted. I like to make them a little more vertical. I give a quick check that I'm not too far. And I'm going to repeat the process for the other side. Again, making sure my oil pan's still going to fit on there. Get them nice and close. Let that activator set up. In the meantime, we can flip our engine on its belly. Apply our glue. Make sure the bump is to the back of the engine. And we can line that up in the center like so. When all said and done, this should be your result. Alright, so putting on the breathers. So you notice there's a small taper, I don't know if I can pick that up on the camera, on each breather. What you're going to do is you're going to line those with the spot on the head. And you're going to kind of turn it until it's level with the valve cover. And then we're going to put a very, very small drop on the valve cover, spray the little breather, carefully line them up with that angle so they sit correctly, and repeat the process on the other side. Try and keep the drop as small as you can to avoid any squish, because it will squish out and get on the valve cover. You put too much. Another trick is to not use the activator right away until you're in place and then spray it. If you notice on that one, the activator didn't quite get all over the breather. But once you are done, your 350 will look like this. Well, that's it for this one, guys. I hope that was helpful. Hope you guys enjoy this engine. Hope it's everything you thought it'd be. If you have any questions, reach out to any of the social medias. And again, happy building, guys. Have a good one.